Welcome everybody, Christina Wolf here. You like my new hair? And this is the full moon in Virgo card pull party and energy update for February 17th, 2019. And I'm going to invite a few people on, see if people pop on here. All right. Welcome. If you're just coming on, say hi. All right. Hey guys, welcome. So I've got a couple of announcements, and just the first is that, hey Juliana, how are you? Welcome. I wanted to wait till we get a few people on before I do any like big announcements. The first thing though is I'm kind of limited to time today, so I have to limit to the first 5 people who request a card, an individual card. So put your request in right now and I'll get you down. Okay. Welcome Claudia, welcome Kimberly, Julie, Risa, welcome. For some reason, I'm feeling called to use my mystical shaman oracle cards. I'm really getting a big message from ancestors that they want to talk, the ancient ones. And so I'll be doing the individual cards with my mystical shaman oracle deck. Okay. Lots of earth energy right now. The full moon is in Virgo, very earth sign. Let me see if we can get started here in a second. All right. So Kimberly wants a card. Perfect. Okay. Juliana. Excellent. Yeah, this, I don't know about you guys, but okay. So related to some of my, this is a perfect example. I got my hair done yesterday. I decided to dye it. If you can't see, oops, sorry. I used to have lots of grays and I wasn't really that worried about it. I considered them like wisdom streaks, but I felt very interested in coloring my hair, painting my nails, but also I am going on my Walker Stalker cruise on Wednesday, so that could be some of it. But I felt very inclined to pay attention to my physical appearance, which is a very Virgoan kind of thing. My son is a Virgo. My oldest brother is a Virgo, and they're naturally very beautiful people. Most of my friends who are Virgos have a very distinct sense of the aesthetics of things. You know, they like to have a very nice car. It has to be clean, very orderly. Now, if you saw my son's room, you would disagree with that, but he has an eye for beauty and detail. Look at all the little photos that I've posted of him wanting to make me breakfasts, and he likes to put the blueberries all in a nice little circle, and that's a very Virgoan kind of aspect, but also being very detail oriented. And the moon is an aspect of our creative side. There's other aspects of the moon. The moon's in conjunction with 3 different signs, and if I remember correctly, Venus is one of them, and Venus is all about beauty and of the body and the senses. And what is the moon anyway? The moon is, the full moon is about coming to fruition, what you want to put out into the world, right? Hold on, let's see. Claudia would like a card too. Okay, awesome. So I want to make sure I got this good. Kimberly says herbal card. Okay, you let me know, Kimberly, herbal or oracle, whatever one you want. I'll put you down for herbal. And if you did not mention which one you want, I'll give you the oracle shaman. Thank you. I appreciate that. so I don't get too sidetracked. If you notice, the voice is kind of a little crazy too. What I was saying is the full moon is in Virgo, which is an earth sign. What it really means is things are really coming to fruition in a the best way I can explain it is like you're really walking your talk. My like I said, my son and my older brother are Virgos, and they're really kind of like a show me the money kind of people. Like if it's not real, I don't want to deal with it kind of thing. And my son, he will definitely let me know if I'm feeding him a line of crap. I don't want to deal with that. You get only the real thing. I don't want to deal with a big illusion. So what you're putting out is like the real deal. You're like actually hitting the rubber. The rubber's hitting the road right now for you. Especially because last month or the new moon was all about kind of that planting the seed stage, but we're literally still in this. If you look at the other planetary aspects, it's a huge in-between stage for us. Kaipacha, his Pele report was like spot on. He was talking about it literally feels like you jump from one trapeze and you're in the air and you haven't quite caught the other one yet. I'm considering this all about alchemy, the chrysalis. You're the butterfly inside, and there's an enormous amount of divine surrender around the stage of letting go. So okay, so here's our three major conjunctions, which are going to be like, wow, okay. If you are a sensitive, feeling-natured person, and most of us who are even talking about this stuff are, and that's why we're here, we're feeling it, and it's a really big, like kind of feeling. So the three major conjunctions, which are the in-between stage of, jumping from one trapeze to the other, Mercury and Neptune are conjunct. What is a conjunction anyway? A conjunction is where the aspects of the planet's energy basically meet. Okay, so Mercury and Neptune. Mercury is all about communication, and who was Mercury anyway? He went down into the underworld, and he's the one that delivered the message to Pluto, right? Because nobody else wanted to go down there and do it. So it's the deliverer of divine messages, communication, but it's also linear thinking and kind of the masculine. Neptune, what is Neptune? Neptune is airy-fairy. It's kind of all is one, mysticism. And so that linear thinking meets mysticism is kind of like, oh, okay. Venus and Saturn. This is my favorite conjunction. Frankly, love, beauty, connection, the divine feminine, motherly, feminine energy. And then we've got Saturn, which is, father time, the father figure, discipline, structure, responsibility. Those are coming together. So you're all like, okay. And then Mars and Uranus, this is like the connection, the conjunction that's been going on for a while here. Mars is all about like kind of that, it's the first, it's ruled, Aries is like coming up in next month, or not next month. I keep thinking it's March already. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself. Aries is like the very beginning of the zodiac sign, and it's that generative energy, that like bursting out of the seed energy, and it's just do it. I don't care about thoughts, process, the plan, just do it. And then we've got Uranus, which is like the great disruptor, and so like you had this just do it, and then like this, you're jumping up in the air and something comes over and smashes you, and you're like, whoa, that wasn't how the plan was supposed to go. So imagine all of these aspects, Mercury, Neptune, Venus, Saturn, Mars, Uranus, and they're all coming together, but they're just sort of like in slow-mo going, oh, okay. It's sort of akin to where the river flows down into the ocean, and it's right there at the delta, and it's just like swirling, and it's like tons of directions, and if you have an external locus of control where everything outside of you you're responding to what's going on outside of you, this is way overwhelming. all this energy is way overwhelming. So if you shift it to an inner locus of control and you're just sort of like being at peace with the fact that you're surrendering to divine will, if you will, that in between alchemy of where I was and where I need to be, it could be exhilarating at times, almost like, wow, let's just see where this goes. Because underneath all of this is a feeling of like the change needs to happen. You know, like I need to move forward. You're compelled to move forward, and it's the life force that's pushing the shoot up into the, you know, through the soil to the surface. And, you know, you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's the cycle of life, frankly. Let me see. Let me check the comments here. All right. So Janelle, we'll get Oracle. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I got Julie, and she's my 5th card, individual cards. Okay. So I got my 5 because remember I got to pop off here. My hair is just like, I'm not used to it. Don't mind me. Okay. So what I'm getting at is it's exhilarating. And yet at the same time, if you think about it, you get overwhelmed very easily. And that's not really helpful to you if you're trying to focus on this full moon in Virgo, which is like walking your talk, bringing about what you created, what seeds you planted. Don't worry. Let spirit take care of it. It's all in the divine intervention. Okay, so I got a couple of people on already. I hate to be like, you know, I do have a major announcement. And I wish there was a few more people on here to hear it, but just in case, I'm gonna mention it in a post anyway. So this will probably be my last card reading for a while. I don't know when. I don't have a definitive answer from spirit, like when I'm supposed to resume. So, okay, because it's the mirror image, I'm like, I can't tell which way to go with my hair. Okay. Reason being is, okay, so last month I was getting kind of the feeling like I really had a lot to churn out and like a lot of messages from spirit and all that. And then reality is life and the very Saturnine responsibilities of motherhood and whatever popped up. And so on top of that, I've had some health concerns. So I'm not going to, you know, go into huge detail, but like, let's just say my blood pressure is really high. And so it's becoming necessary to slow down. All that aside, I kind of feel like that spirit just sort of forcing me to slow down because I have a tendency, very Sagittarius tendency, to just wing it and not listen to that inner knowing that was telling me to slow down. And so I'm kind of forced to slow down. And so there we have it. I don't know when I'll be resuming, but I have a couple of, this is an example of all of the swirling aspects coming together and just kind of making a big, huge swirling delta meets the ocean kind of thing for me. I have been doing an empowerment coaching program since 2013, and I blew it off, and I stayed with it. I kept just like one toe in the water, and I feel like now is the time for me to close that up. And so that's on my mind. I have to finish that, and I feel compelled to finish that this spring. So I need to focus on that. And then also an opportunity to mentor with a Lipan Mescalero Apache medicine woman has come up for me, and I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to go. Learning curanderismo, which is Latin native wisdom, like kind of healing wisdom in the Hispanic culture, especially here in San Antonio, South Texas area. And then she also teaches Native American healing, and she also teaches herbal medicine, which was like, wow, all the stuff that I had prayed for an in-person mentor that could really like show me like a grandmother and pass down that knowledge. So like Spirit's answering my prayers. And so I need to create a space for that. But it doesn't mean that I won't be here. It means I'm going to be like sharing all the new adventures that I'm having. And who knows, I may decide like, I miss this. I really love doing these readings and being here with you guys. So don't count me out. I don't want to be like making promises I'm going to have time to do these, but I don't want to be like, no, I'm never doing them again. So that sort of energy that I'm feeling right now is like, if you're feeling that, it's part of this whole 3 major conjunctions coming together. But in order for you to really do the thing you want to do, like show you the money, you've got to actually put in the work. You can't talk about stuff in abstract forever, right? You've got to do the work. You've got to literally, so it's sort of like signing up for every single free offering online and then not doing it, or literally sitting there and journaling out, or being in the energetic space of doing the meditations and etc. It's that sort of thing, like the difference between intellectually thinking about something and literally doing the work. You see what I'm getting at? That's what this full moon in Virgo is all about. Oh, thank you guys. I am very reluctant to let go of this rung of like being here with you guys, because I really enjoy it so much. And so there's that. But all that aside, let's talk about you. Again, let's get back to this locus of control. If it's outside of you, it can feel really overwhelming. And so let's, like focus within, and then realize that if you do surrender to the divine, it always takes care of you. It always takes care of you. It will carry you to it's the difference between trying to struggle upstream at the delta and just letting go, and then like being carried out to the ocean where it's nice and peaceful and calm. And if you didn't fight it, you're not going to hurt yourself in the process. It's that sort of essence of energy. Let spirit take you where you need to go. Go with the flow kind of thing. So another silly example, if you ever watch Finding Nemo, the sea turtles, where they go on like the oceanic rift, the current, and Marlin, his dad, gets like, blah! Him and Dory are like spinning all over the place, but like the sea turtles are like surfing it, and they're just really enjoying it. So that's kind of the same sort of energy you're going to be working with. Also, because you're in between, it's always that alchemy of all the stuff that you went through. Many of us, we keep talking about this. 2019, that the eclipse season was like a close to all of the purification, all of the hard work, all like the scouring out of your shadow that you all did from 2012 to 2019. And now it's like, okay, I'm really feeling it. Like I busted my hump doing some serious, huge spiritual alchemy from 2012 to 2019. And now I feel like I'm ready to complete my empowerment coaching. My ego wanted to be ready, but I wasn't ready. And now I know I'm ready. Now I can like show you the money. That's how, where it's going. That's sort of the energy you're in right now. Okay. So, let's get to, I wanted to move on because I could talk for hours about this, because it's been really on my heart and mind. And, I really want to just move into the card reading and let spirit do the talking here. But first, let me light up my incense here, my copal. Like that. copal resin. And then in here, in my smudge, if y'all aren't aware, this is, this big piece right here is tobacco. And I've got sage, sweetgrass, and cedar, which are the 4 sacred herbs for native indigenous culture, the herbs of the medicine wheel. Sometimes I go by instinct, like what I want to use in my smudge, okay? And I just feel like needing to use the 4 directions is important right now because we have so much coming together with all these planetary conjunctions. So, and take heart, all that is on the news need not affect you if you stay true to yourself, if that makes sense. There's a lot going on that can be disheartening, and it requires that inner locus of control, that inner focus to be the influencer of the energy of the room. You're not responding to the energy of the room. You are creating or changing even with the way you are being the energy around you. So yeah, so Kimberly says, I've had no control over my emotion this last 2 weeks. I recognize I'm grouchy, impatient, kind of just floating around numb. One of those times where I almost can't stand to be around myself. I need to do some serious self-healing and get myself. Yes. Well, I can totally relate. I will say, okay, pay attention to your moon cycle, your menstrual cycle too. During these like kind of crazy shifting times, you can look in the red moon cycle versus the white moon cycle. And if you bleed during the new moon, you have a red moon cycle. If you bleed during the full moon, you have a white moon cycle. If you're bleeding during the full moon, that's an indication that you sort of swapped. You're not really in fertile, like wanting to maybe bring a child into the world. You need to bring in your shadow self and your creations of the shadow self. What I'd like to think is it's kind of like taking all of your pain, all the crap you went through, and alchemizing it into something that's healing for the world. And I feel like it's perfectly appropriate that mine kind of shifted from the red moon cycle to the white moon cycle. And now I'm preparing to bleed during the full moon, which is weird for me, my body. But if you're feeling out of sorts, it's you responding to the universe, right? All that energy. And I put a little post up of me. I had to go outside and literally put my feet on the ground to get grounded. So, all right, let's start our smudge here. And I'm going to open up some sacred space in a minute. Ooh. There we go. We thank the element of fire. And tobacco being a blessing for Mother Earth. Thanking her. Tobacco is considered to be the first plant, right? And so we give it back to Mother Earth in thanks for all her plants. If you have not seen, it's a series on Netflix called One Strange Rock, and thank you, Sama Morningstar, for recommending it. I watched it. I binge watched it last weekend. It shares so much about the creation of Earth and just the amazing aspects of our plants and animals, and how, and it's also from the perspective of 8 astronauts looking at the planet from outer space. And so I had just like a renewed awe for Mother Earth and the ways in which she's protecting us. It talks about the electromagnetic field around the Earth that protects us from the radiation of the sun. I mean, just Mother Gaia is just beautiful. So we thank her and give her blessings with the tobacco, the cedar, sage, and sweetgrass, all to represent the other cycles of life and protection from spirit. Okay, let's get the smudge going here. This is smudge, you guys. Pretend that you're smudging your whole body. Goes over your head. By the way, if a true smudging would have, let me show you. I rarely take this out, but this is my beautiful fan, turkey feather fan from Sedona that you can use to smudge yourself. This is in the native culture. You never want to have this go the other way, facing downward. The thing that I like most about the things that I'm learning from my native teachers is the ceremony of things. We've lost a lot in ceremony. And so, but you don't need a feather to do such a thing. You can just smudge. And like I've done in, I've shown you guys before, I break up my sage and I put little pieces in here. I don't smudge a whole stick and then relight it. The plants hold your energy, right? And always go clockwise around your body, all the way down to your feet and under your feet. So imagine that you're doing this with me. That's properly cleansing you, all of your kind of any density, any negative energy, maybe entity attachments from, the outside world before you create sacred space. And doing this really has helped me to have a space where I do meditate, where I do go into journey, where I do not just think about all of this and actually do the work from a metaphysical standpoint. So, Lori says, interesting. I just tuned in a minute ago, so I missed the beginning of what you said. But I hadn't had a period since May. Thought I'd finally hit the menopause jackpot. But all last week, I had a lingering half-ass period going on. Yep. Your body really responds to the energy around you. Yeah, I can give it to Kimberly if you want to give it to her. Sure. Angela, I'll give you a card, which we'll do the oracle card. Yeah, in case you're just popping on, I've got to limit it to 5 per individual card readings because I have to get off at a certain time today. Because last week was like amazing, but it was 2 hours and 45 minutes, so that was quite a bit. But I'm so grateful to you all for like being in this space and sharing it with me. So now that we've properly smudged ourselves and cleansed ourselves, purified ourselves, made ourselves, honoring the space, let's open sacred space. So we're calling in the winds of the east. We welcome you, spirit of eagle, condor. This is the place of the rising sun, fire energy. We call you in. We thank you for your bird's eye view. This is the springtime of our life. This is dawning of the day. This is being born. This is the beginning, the birth of our life. And we thank you. This is also the space of our father's lineage, and we welcome all of our well ancestors. We thank you, Spirit of Eagle, for showing us how to fly high, to stay in the space of our higher self, but to also have the bird's eye view, the focus to know what we need to deal with down on the earth. So we thank you. Aho. And now to the winds of the south. We'll call you in. This is Spirit of Snake. This is earth element. This is noontime of our life. This is our youth. This is summertime. This is being in full bloom. This is the full moon. Place of fertility and coming of age. And we love you, Spirit of Snake, for showing us how to travel humbly close to Mother Earth and how to shed old skin. We thank you. This is the space of our father's, mother's lineage, and we welcome all of our well ancestors. Aho. And now to the winds of the west, we call you in. We thank you, Spirit of Whale, Spirit of Jaguar, all the beautiful water animals. This is the water element. This is our emotions. This is the space, the feeling nature of us. This is also the fall of our lifetime, the adulthood of our lifetime, where we harvest the lessons of our rites of passage. This is the place of the setting sun, the place where we let go of things. And so we are now in the in-between of letting go. And so we welcome you, winds of the west. And this is the place of our mother's lineage. And we welcome all of our well ancestors. Aho. To the winds of the north, this is spirit of elk, caribou, buffalo, the ancient ones, and spirit of hummingbird, lightness of being, air element, place of inner knowing, the winter time of our life, the crone stage, the wise old woman. We thank you so much for all the wisdom of our ancestors. And we thank spirit of elk, buffalo, caribou for showing us the endurance of lifetimes of soul journey. And this is the place of our father or mother's father's lineage. And we welcome all of our well ancestors. Thank you. Aho. And to Mother Earth, Gaia, oh, you're so precious. We thank you so much for all the life-sustaining qualities that you provide for us. And we're eternally grateful for the air that you provide for us, the water that you provide for us, the earth for us to stand on, and the fire for us to alchemize all that we need to use all that you offer, and the space. Thank you, Mother Earth, for all you do. And then to Father Sky, we thank you for just being the space in between the dark matter, for being the mysteries of the universe, for being the one true creator of all things. We thank you for being the spirit within, the spirit without, the spirit above, the spirit below, the spirit within, as always. And to our star nations, we thank you for watching over us, for being in other dimensions that we may not yet have known about. Thank you so much. Mother, or Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, we thank you for doing this wonderful dance to take care of us. So showing us the cycles of life. Thank you. And I like to invite in Wolf Spirit. Thank you for always guiding the way, helping me to share what I've learned along the way. Thank you. All right, so let's get started on the card reading. All right. So the full moon is all about, what's coming to fruition and what can I let come into my awareness. That's what our first card's going to be about. I'm going to shuffle cards a few times using intuition as to what Spirit wants me to know. And so when we shuffle a card, we're infusing cards with our request, with our energy, what we need to know, and Spirit responds. So first card is going to be, what do I need to let come into my awareness? What needs to bubble to the surface and come out? What egg do I need to burst out of my ovary? Literally. And then the next will be, what idea or creation can I release? Quite literally, the egg. Within me, to the universe. What needs to come out? That's going to be our second card. And the third card, what influence will this creation have going forward? Is it just for now? Is it generations, 7 generations forward? I can't wait to start doing some more ancestral work. And think about this. You are the ancestor to your 7 generations forward descendants. I'd like to think that 7 generations from now, I was doing my ancestry, and all of my ancestors all kind of came through Canada and New York, and they all kind of stayed in that area. And I thought, after looking at them all the way back to the 1800s. They all stayed in the same area, and I thought, where the heck did I come from? Because I must be a starseed. I am nothing like anybody in my family. They were farmers. I'm probably trying to go back to being a farmer, but they were farmers. They were laborers. I had one pharmacist, my great-grandfather, but they all stayed in the Northeast. And here I am in Texas, and I'm the only woman, actually person, in my family to go in the military until my younger brother did, since my great uncle died in the Battle of the Bulge in World War II, 1945. So think about that. Where did I come from? So I'd like to think my descendants will look back and be like, she was a pretty badass ancestor. So, and this is a very amazing time to live. So, yeah, beautiful. Okay. So hi, Michelle, welcome. Hi, Lori. If it seems like I've got Angela, Juliana, Claudia, Janelle, and Julie, and I'll see what I can do. If we have time, if we're humming along, I'll see if I can fit in a card for you. I hate to turn anyone away, but I got to pop off right at a certain time. So, and Connie, same thing. I'll see what I can do here. So, Lori and Connie, just stand by, okay? I don't want to tell anybody no. I hate to do that, but so let's get rolling here. Okay, and then lastly, what's the energy we need to know what we need to let come into our awareness, what we need to release out into the universe, and what's going to be the result of it. So it's kind of like cosmic soup, basically. You know, when you're cooking and you're putting in a nice stew and you're adding all the ingredients, what do we need to know? Okay, what do I need to let come into my awareness? What creation or idea can I release from within me to the universe? What influence will this creation have going forward? And what energy do I need to embody to make this all happen? Okay. Very first card, 5 of Cups. Water energy, horsetail. I've not ever worked with horsetail, so this is a good card. I like when I'm pulling cards I haven't pulled because it means we're stirring things up. We're, adding new ingredients to the soup. And so here we go. 5 of Cups. On a gloomy, cloudy day, a man sits despondently crying over spilt milk or the things he's lost from his life. This is what we need to come into our awareness. Where are we crying over spilt milk? All the past, we got to let it go, right? The loss may be in the form of divorce, separation from a loved one, or a general depression. All that happened for a reason, okay? And I say this with the utmost love because I have been in this humbling space many times. Right now, you may feel like victim-y. You may feel like, this sucks. I don't know why. Everything's just never coming to fruition the way I want. Just remember, stay humble. Consider it a pruning from Mother Earth, a pruning from Spirit that's cutting away all the crap you don't need so that you can really bloom the way you need to, okay? It's an act of love. And stay in that open-hearted space, right? So under circumstances of grieving, it may not occur to him to focus on assets indicated by the cup standing. You're not seeing all the ways in which this crappy thing going on is a total blessing. Like me with my blood pressure. I don't understand. My kids have been giving me a really hard time, but it's forcing me to grow up and be a better parent. It's forcing me to manage my time and energy better. And to prepare me if things aren't going the way I want. I'm still going to be going through it regardless. So what sort of vehicle, energetic space am I going to be carrying myself through whatever's going on? So the card serves as a reminder against overindulgence in negative thoughts and feelings. This is so hard to do when you're like, man, this shit sucks. Okay, when you're in that space, give yourself some love. Shut off your brain. Go watch a whole... what I did last week, I canceled some stuff. I was not feeling good. I had a sexual healing circle. I was not feeling good. I couldn't maintain that space. I had to shut everything off. I had to binge watch One Strange Rock, and that was very nourishing. Find ways to nourish yourself when you're in this space, because the problem that I find most of us have is we do not know how to restore and rejuvenate and nourish ourselves. And this because we're feeling guilty, we're stuck in that do energy. And when you're feeling like you're going through something, like it's uncomfortable, you don't like it, it feels like crap, it's not who I thought I was, all the stories, right? Get away from that and let it go. Like, kind of let the raft float and see where Spirit's going to take you, okay? We're midway on the tenfold path of cups and changes are flowing our way. So when you're in the change and you don't know which action to take, sometimes taking indecisive action or misdirected action can make things harder for you. So it's okay to just sit in the boat and let Spirit take you, okay? You don't necessarily have to do anything. Kind of let yourself mulch in the lessons at the time. And they may feel kind of crappy, but out of that will come what you really want, okay? If you're honest with yourself. If you let yourself really feel into what you need to do, and this is where you start saying, I need to stop being so controlling. If I want a loving partnership, I've got to give them space. These are some of the conversations I've had with myself. Okay. So like, you know what you need to do. It just may feel uncomfortable and you don't want to have to do it. You may not want to admit what you need to do because then you'd have to take action. It's where the rubber hits the road. Okay. Sometimes this card indicates the need to reevaluate one's life and perhaps restructure priorities. Okay. Well, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling like you can't get done what you want to do, it's not that life is terrible. It's that you haven't structured your life the way you need it to be to nourish you. So start looking at those things. If this is achieved, then there are possibilities to begin a new unfoldment into a more positive direction. Okay, so horsetail helps to clear out fiery emotions that are suppressed by feelings of loss or depression. This is the way we try to squelch these negative feelings, but don't do that. Sometimes you have a right to be pissed. Sometimes that thing that happened was really shitty, okay? Sit there and go, that sucked, that was shitty, and I hate it, and let it go. Let it come out, let it be real, be honest, tell yourself, I can't stand that person because they were awful to me, and move on. Like, if you squelch it and you try to say, I didn't really feel that way, you're going to hang on to that stuff and it's going to be buried and it's going to fester and it's going to come out in illness and it's going to come out in aches and pains and it's going to come out and I'm going to kick the dog instead of, I really just need to admit I was upset about this thing. Okay. But process it, let it go. Okay. What does that even mean? A lot of us, that feels very abstract. I don't even know what that means. Because as soon as I let it go, I think about it again and I'm pissed again. So keep every moment that it keeps cropping up, feel into it, really acknowledge the feeling. Yeah, that sucked. That was shitty. And I'm going to practice again, releasing. It may feel like this huge flowing energy out of your chest. I have this coworker I can't stand. Every time I'm around her, she makes me feel like I'm just like not worth her time. She's just disrespectful and rude. And other people make me feel like I'm being paranoid because I feel that way about her, and I don't care. I just need to honor that. But I can't hold on to it because every time I do, I feel bad. And this is that sort of energy. Recognize hey, those feelings coming up, they are accurate, they are honest, they are real and valid to you. But holding on to them is not going to make you feel better or get you to the space you want to be. And it may drain you away from the things that you really want. You know, if you're sitting there holding this resentment, anger, depression, heartbreak, can you get to the space where you're feeling good and attracting the things that you want? So just remember that. This horsetail, if you choose to use it energetically, you know, write it down on a piece of paper, ask it for its essence. You can do a little ceremony. Say, I choose to let go of this, this, and this. Put it in a little dish and light it on fire and give it to the fire, right? Because horsetail helps you clear out fiery emotions. All right. So it gives one the clarity of vision needed during the trying times indicated by the 5 cups. So if you're going through some trying times, acknowledge them. And you might be going through them absolutely for a valid reason. So horsetail, an ancient plant that has been found in fossils from ages past, removes excess water from the system. Water being emotions. If you're feeling very, very emotional, like Kimberly was talking about, process this, acknowledge this. You're not just at the mercy of, life. You can recognize, now there's a difference where you're feeling out of control and like bumped around and smashed around in the vehicle of life, or actively surrendering to divine will. Like, thank you, Spirit. I know I'm going through something right now, but I'm going to just trust that you're going to carry me where I need to go. Okay. So, the other thing is horsetail removes excess water from the system and purifies the blood. Only barren stems are used medicinally. They appear after the fruiting stems have died down. They have the appearance of hollow stalks and are used either fresh or dried. So most of us, I know, probably will not have access to horsetail, but you can call upon the essence of it to, by writing it down and asking it to help you metaphysically move through this fiery, crampy feeling going on. You can wear it in a pouch around you as a talisman. Again, the ceremonial aspect of it that I showed you, put it in a dish, light it. So the affirmation will be, from my losses, I gain the experience to create a brighter tomorrow. That's where you're bringing into your awareness. And I say bring it into your awareness because if you do not, what's that saying? You have to feel it to release it, and claim it to reframe it. If you're not acknowledging it, it's going to stew and fester. So let it come up to the surface. Let it out. This may even look like you smashing a pillow in your room on your bed, instead of breaking something literally. Move the energy out. Acknowledge it's there, okay? Get it out. So, hi, Evelina. I'm going to put you down as a possible, but if I get to a certain time, I may not be able to pull all these individual cards. I'm trying to limit to only 5 right now. So thank you for joining, though. And I hate to say no, but I've got a time constraint today. So next card. What idea creation can I release from within me to the universe? Page of Swords. Swords being air energy and dill. Interesting. I love that I'm pulling cards I haven't pulled in a long time, because that means we're in kind of uncharted territory, or going into territory that we haven't been in a while. Okay, so the young page is ready to make a new start with fresh ideas and thoughts. He will sweep away all the encumbrances such as depression and negative thoughts, and will make himself ready for change and the new possibilities. All right. You've decided, I don't want to feel shitty anymore, and I'm going to put it out into the universe. Bring me the circumstances, the thoughts, the things that I need to create what I want. The page is like a breath of fresh air that blows away the clouds that have obscured thinking. So you do need to get rid of that like old density, that hucha, so that you can have this clarity of thinking. This may take some active doing, right? Set aside some quiet time to really focus on the thing, and that's, maybe feeling dense, and do some like energy clearing meditations. Go out on the earth, put your bare feet on the earth, take some active steps to make the space to get rid of this depression, for this negative density, etc. The page is your own inner child ready to learn something new. You decided I want to invite something new in, and so I got to get rid of the old. He's a free thinker and is ready to make inroads to a new reality for himself. The page must watch that he doesn't dissipate his energy on erratic, compulsive thinking. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes misdirection, sometimes it's best to sit still and take a break and reassess, where should I be investing my attention, energy, all of that, because if you're just reacting and responding, you're wasting energy, right? Or I'm just sort of doing something I feel compelled to do, but is doing this going to really get me to where I want to go? Like, oh, you just like taking off in the forest and you didn't assess if you're going east or west, but you know that the place you want to go is west, and suddenly you realize, wait a second, I'm traveling north. So it's best to just sit still and assess where you need to go first, right? All right, the page of swatch, he doesn't dissipate his energy on erratic compulsive thinking, which can turn into thoughtlessness and spiteful behavior. Okay, when we do that, we blow up and we say the ugly thing, then it creates more meaning making and nonsense and drama. Like, I'd like to give you a piece of my mind, but then when you say it, it's like, now it created, maybe I shouldn't have said that. That was hurtful. And, did you really accomplish what you set out to do? And you don't want to create more drama to clean up later on. So again, rather than being erratic, rather than, flying off the handle, and like me with my coworker, telling her to pack sand, is that going to help at the end of the day? Like, no, because I doubt she'll change. And I don't want to be the one that created an even bigger situation. So acknowledge the feelings, find a nourishing space for you, and then move forward, move on, move away from that thing that's making you feel negative. Don't respond in a negative way to it. So he must not become so opinionated and fixed with his ideals that he blows everyone else away with arguments and debates. Like, yeah, you probably do have a right to feel that way. But if you're angry and whatever, you're not sort of garnering sympathy from others, if that makes sense. Not that you need other sympathy. Sometimes you just need to give yourself that compassion and soothe that anger yourself, okay? Dill has the capacity to bring focus to attention and thoughts. All right. Well, when you're being kind of ugly and you're feeling spiteful, and like Kimberly was talking about, I just can't stand myself. I've been there 1,000 times. I call it I should just crawl back under my rock kind of day. And that's okay. If coming in contact with people is going to put you in that space, you reserve the right to go within and be quiet and get away from people and turn off your phone. That you get to do that. You get to have that control over where your time and energy and who gets into your space, your little slice of heaven. It took me years to understand this because I was stuck in a lot of attachment and abandonment. If I turn off my phone, what if they call? No, trust that you will have somebody there when you turn the phone back on. And if they're not there, it doesn't matter because you're tending to yourself, and the right people will be there no matter what. Okay. So, what I'm getting at is you reserve the right to tend to yourself and know that other people will still be there and respect those boundaries if you do that. And if they don't, let them swirl out of your existence. They don't need to be there. Okay. I don't know why I felt compelled to tell you all that. It will calm the air element and help one to digest new thoughts coming through. Dill is used to treat colic, gas, indigestion, and insomnia. If any of you have ever had a colicky baby, it's like nothing soothes them. So if you're in an unsoothable place, don't judge yourself. Don't sit there and say, it's all my fault. I don't know why I'm this way. That sort of talk is not what's going to heal you or help you. Okay. Accept that you're feeling unlovable, accept that you're behaving unlovable, whatever it is, accept that that's there, and then move forward. Okay. That creates, it puts you, when you're in that like kind of crabby state, it's like you're not in receptive mode. So when you go, yeah, I am crabby, and I get it, I know I am, I'm going to let it go. Then you open up new space to be in receptive mode and receive something new. Okay. New thoughts, childlike enthusiasm for innovative ideas. What if if you're feeling jealous or like whatever, it's not going to, being jealous of what the other person has isn't going to give you what they have or get rid of that feeling. Let it go. Like, just, yeah, okay, great. Thank you for showing me what I need to know or what I need to do. Obviously it touched on something that you need to focus on and be honest with yourself about, and move forward. Okay. So I sweep away all darkness and depression, and with joy, I open myself to new thoughts and ideas. There's a great aphorism from, what was her name? Florence Scovel Shinn. And she used to say, what God does for others, he gives to me and more. And it was something similar like that. And it was like, it helped me realize, like, as I was getting older, like I had this sort of, if they have it, I can't have it. It's like scarcity mindset. So if you just understand that, don't worry about what someone else is doing. Because if you feel that they have this and you didn't get it, and this is a lot of childhood conditioning too, you open yourself up to the idea that just because someone else has something does not mean that you also cannot have it or better. Okay. Just remember that. Kimberly says this page is talking to me, right? Yes. And yeah, well, I don't know. Hopefully it is what you needed to hear. And I'm glad that you're getting something out of my babbling here. So I appreciate that. Next is, what influence will this creation have going forward? Okay, well, whenever you make that cognitive choice to stop horses in midstream, stop feeling like a crab ass, and, actively redirecting your energy, that's like a muscle. It's like, I don't know about you, but I have like a terrible stomach, abdominal muscles. And when you're first trying to do sit-ups, you're like, I can't do a sit-up. This feels horrible. That's how trying to redirect your energy feels if you haven't been doing it. It's going to feel like stopping horses in midstream. It's going to be uncomfortable, but trust me, just like your abs respond within like a couple weeks, so does your energy. You learn. It's a muscle. It's a metaphysical muscle. You start doing that and you can do it more often, and you can recognize what you're doing and stop the negative thoughts and keep them moving. So at first, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel like, I don't even know if I can do this, but try anyway. Keep trying. Keep building those neural pathways. So Four of Swords. This is what influence will creation have going forward? The swords are more air energy. Mullein is another beautiful herb. Let me see what we got here. After much disharmony, excessive thinking, and restlessness, the man has set down his sword and has taken a breather. So, like, ultimately, you're relaxing. You did some hard work. All that time you, like, went from feeling crappy to redirecting your thoughts. Now I'm in a nice, happy, relaxed space. That's ultimately what you're putting out into the universe, and that's what you want, okay? It is time to be calm, to rest and recuperate in order to regain inner strength, reorganize thoughts, and make new plans. Kind of where I'm at right now. This may be a good time to seek guidance spiritually, financially, or otherwise. If you're not sure what direction to go in, I'm going to say this. I cannot stand the idea when people act like they need a guru. You do not need a guru. You are your guru, okay? If you need someone to show you how to connect back to your inner knowingness, that's different. But if you, that is so weird. I just got a random telephone call on my phone, and it was a strange person that I don't normally hear from. Right as I was saying, you don't need a guru. Okay. I'll find out the meaning of that later. Seek spiritual advisement, but under the premise that it's showing you how to arrive at the answer yourself. Don't rely on another person telling you something. I can't stand when other people want to act like they know everything. They don't. Even when you are empowered, even when you are, been doing this a while, you have your own moments, and it's like a cycle. You keep going, and like the same sort of scenarios keep recirculating, and it's just how you respond to them in a different way, right? What direction are you coming in at? So Mullen is saying, maybe it's kind of like when you're growing tomato plants and they need like some structure, but it's the plant that's growing. The plant's inner knowingness is what's making it grow upward. Actually, tomatoes really don't like to grow upward. They like to sprawl out and make roots wherever they're going. But what I'm getting at is, if your desire is to move upward, you may need some structure, maybe a frame or a fence or something, some sort of guidance, but it's not the thing that is making you grow. Okay. So be wary if you're going through like a really difficult transformation, be very discerning about who you seek advice from. Like, I remember I had to go through this stage of like kind of needing other people's opinions and asking them what I need to do. And then I was getting like kind of annoyed with what they were telling me because it wasn't right for me. And so you'll reach a point where you go, okay, I already know what I need to do, and I don't need to necessarily ask other people for their opinion, because I've arrived at a space of inner wisdom and knowingness about myself. And out of all that needing to ask other people's opinions was this not trusting myself, not, doubting myself. And don't be in that, I don't want to say don't be in that space. If you're in that space, just recognize you're in that space. Okay? Because don't beat yourself up about it. But as you're doing it, I felt like every time I asked somebody else their opinion about what I should do, I was giving away power, and I was giving away, I was invalidating my own inner knowingness. Okay. So why am I saying all that? Okay. This may be a good time to seek guidance spiritually, financially, or otherwise, but it's not a time to be scattered and disorganized, but instead one must strive to be grounded and to understand the boundaries and forms by which one must live. If you can emulate somebody else's habits, just understand that you have to be you going through those motions, okay? If there's a feeling of being repressed or restricted, it is best to look to the inner realities by which one lives to see where the self is not allowed freedom of positive expression. This is where counter commitments come in. Things like being late, self-sabotage, whatever. You're trying to express an aspect of yourself and you just don't realize it. You may be going about it in a way that's dysfunctional, okay? So look at the ways in which you're still trying to get your needs met. If you're always late, you're probably trying to create spaciousness in your life. If you're, spending too much money, you're probably trying to soothe the feeling of contractedness within, like I have more freedom if I can buy more stuff and more, go to the root of the matter before you kind of like, rack up credit card bills or get fired because you're doing this dysfunctional thing. Look at what it is you're ultimately trying to soothe through your dysfunctional behavior. Calling that person 75 times because they didn't text you back. You're trying to soothe that inner sense of attachment, okay? Go to that space and heal that sense of attachment. Okay. You won't need to call that person 75 times and look like a stage 4 clinger. You see what I'm saying? This is where we all have this like dysfunctional way of trying to get our needs met, but underneath it is a valid need. Okay. And that's what this is saying. Like, your needs are important, but if you're going about them in a dysfunctional way, it's going to create drama for you. And so look at the ways in which you can actively express that need and get it met in a nourishing way. Okay. So any unconsciousness may be due to lack of the ability to confront the current situation. Like, I'm not acknowledging my neediness because I don't want to deal with my abandonment wound, and that's a lot of work. Take the time out to regroup and rest, but do it in such a way that will have greater strength and clarity to deal with the next step. Beating yourself up is not going to get you to the place of self-love and empowerment, feeling on solid footing about yourself and who you are and confidence in yourself. Okay. Acknowledge, I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling crappy. I'm feeling unloved right now. Whatever it is, whatever negative aspect you're having, or I'm just feeling out of control. Because on the other side of that is some judgment about how you think things are supposed to be. I'm supposed to have all my stuff together. I'm supposed to be always kind and gracious, or whatever the fact. Look at your shoulds and look at where you really are, and like love yourself in between. Okay. All right. So overall energy of this process, 9 of Pentacles. So we're going to have some earth energy. You need to come back to earth. You need to get grounded. There's a lot of air energy, a lot of overthinking, kind of mental gymnastics going on maybe. But it might take some of that thinking time to go within, go spend some time in nature, journal things out, have that nonverbal discussion in your body, if that makes sense, about how I feel about things. Many of these feelings come up because of nonverbal messages that were imprinted at a very early age. Okay. Let's see. Yes, they are lining up very nicely. Yes, I agree, because sometimes I don't understand why they're coming together, but they are. Okay, so dark grapes. That's going to be, isn't that funny? If you're feeling sour grapes, bring yourself back down to earth. Kind of, in a strange way, get over yourself. Recognize that the thought that you're having in response to the thing that's going on is, of course, creating your inner world, and you can create a different world through different thoughts, right? So 9 of Pentacles. Let's look this up. And what are grapes anyway? Grapes alchemize into wine, and it's definitely the test of time on how you become something. Okay. A prosperous woman looks at and touches some plump grapes. She is fully enjoying the harvest from her past efforts. This is where we're at right now. We're harvesting all of our past efforts from 2012 to 2019. Although she experiences great pleasure, she's very discriminating as to how she spends her time, money, and energy. We were just talking about this. How do you want to spend your time? If you aren't sure, take some time to figure that out, right? She didn't get where she is today with frivolous spending and wastefulness. Her great love and passion for her work, whether she's a householder or an executive, has given her a deep sense of peace and security within. That's kind of like what we're sort of striving for, that peace is the ultimate goal. Like, I just want to feel at peace inside. Avaricious tendencies must be guarded against, and she must watch that she does not become envious of others' situations. We just talked about this? Okay. Other situations or belongings. If you're in that jealous state of, I love this saying, never compare your beginning chapter to someone's middle chapter or their ending chapter. Like, if you're on different stages of life, And you're looking at somebody and going, oh my God, their business is so flourishing and great. They started 12 years ago and you only started this year. How can you possibly compare where you are, where they're at? And you may have a totally different story than them. And what your ultimate creation is going to be totally different. Don't compare to other people. Okay. If she should become discouraged because her goals have not yet been attained, then she may need to reevaluate her aims and focus more on the creative process than on the end results or rewards. I will tell you this. What's that? It's a very cheesy Garth Brooks song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. There's times when I was really not sure what I wanted and I was striving for this thing. And this thing didn't work out. And now I'm like, thank God, because it really wasn't in alignment with what I'm really wanting to do. I just didn't know. I was still excavating where I was supposed to be going, how I was supposed to be serving, what I was, where I could create space to grow the things that I wanted. Okay. So again, going off in this direction and you're not entirely sure, it's more of a distraction or a detour, but you're gonna eventually come back to where you need to be. But it's better to not be hard-headed and I'm hard-headed though. I have to learn the hard way. Unfortunately, I'm an experiential learner, and if you're one of those people, there's young girls right now at 20 having like amazing online businesses, and I'm 42, and I can't compare myself to them. I can't say when I was that age, I was in this space. So I had to learn a different way. And what I'm bringing now is far richer for me than who I would have been at 20, if that makes sense. So this is what I'm getting at. Don't ever compare yourself and the results that you're having with other people. And the part where you must not invalidate or be unwilling to accept the praise or support that she may receive from the world around her, for this may be some of the prosperity coming towards her. Abundantly is the way that the universe functions. We're not meant to close ourselves off from whatever abundance nature provides. I was lighting my candles and I was thinking to myself, I am like so abundant in so many ways. I may not feel like monetarily abundant, but like I think about how I look around at all the ways in which I'm blessed. And it was just a strange thought that came up to me. And think of the ways in which you're abundant in non-monetary ways. You have plenty of air. You got plenty of water. If you live in America and you have a cell phone and all that material stuff, we are very abundant compared to maybe the other rest of the world. Frankly, I think the rest of the world sometimes is happier than us, though, because they're living a simpler life. And there's abundance in so many ways that we take for granted. Grapes have been written about metaphorically in ancient books, and its virtues extolled. Grapes are like the god Adonis, or am I thinking of the right guy? Dionysus. Hello, and the image of being fed grapes and overindulging and debauchery. Grapes are the symbol for abundance, and let us get up early to the vineyard. Let us see if the vine flourish, whether the tender grapes appear. There will I give thee my loves. That's from the Song of Solomon in the Bible. The grapevine has borne the fruit of prosperity and abundance since the beginning of time. So look at the grapes in your life. Where am I abundant? And from that energetic space, start building out what direction you want to take. I find that this may get kind of convoluted, so let me keep it kind of simple. There's an aspect that we don't understand if we've been in scarcity, which is building an energetic container to be able to hold our abundance. There's people who can make a ton of money, and then it's like they spend it all in the same amount of time, right? Like you get your tax return and, $8,000. And then suddenly by May, or not even April, it's gone. Well, you had all that abundance coming to you, but could you hold it, right? And that's sort of like you're attracting great partners, but you're sabotaging it. Or they're not even showing up because you're not creating the energetic container for the thing that you want. Or you don't have the capacity for it. I had to learn over the course of, this is an example of having like kind of a really shitty, humbling experience, early childhood trauma and the abandonment wound. I had to learn letting go of all of the abandonment wound drama, the attachment, the lack of respect for myself, the chasing after people. That's kind of like in the middle in the muck. The things going on that you're realizing are like eye openers, things I need to work on, things I need to get honest with myself about. And then you get to the part where you start holding a greater energetic container for yourself, where you start inviting in where you deserve and are able to receive and sustain what you really want. So think about the grapes, but if you don't have a very strong chalice to hold the grapes, they're just going to flow off into the earth, okay? So remember that. I know it's a little abstract, but if you're thinking, well, I always, find a guy and then he goes off and finds someone else and marries them instead, consider your energetic container. Are you holding space? Do you feel you're deserving of whatever it is you're asking? And get into that worthiness energetic container, okay? All right, that's it for the group reading. Oh my goodness. That was interesting. Let me know what you think. All right, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to do oracle cards for all the single card people. I haven't pulled these out in a little while. So I've got Angela, Juliana. Let me know if you're still here. Who's still on? Because I want to give card readings to those who are still here. Okay. Give you priority. Let me know. Say, I'm here. I'm here. Put it in the comment section as I'm shuffling the cards. So Angela, Juliana, Claudia, Janelle, Julie, and then I had requests from Lori, Connie, and Evelina. So, and I see 6 people here. So, okay. Angela's here. Claudia's here. And Julie's still here. Okay, perfect. And 2 more people. If you're still here, let me know. Kimberly's still here. And that. Because I think it's fair. If you've stayed on, you should get a reading. Connie. And Evelina, perfect. Okay, is Juliana, are you still here? What about Janelle or Lori? I think Kimberly, you deserve one anyway because you were so kind to give up your reading. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So Lori's here. Yes, okay. So Angela, Juliana, Claudia, Julie, Connie, and Lori. Did I get everybody? And then Kimberly, of course. Okay. Okay. I think I can swing it. Let's see if we can get 7 readings in. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Okay. Let me pull these cards for you. Perfect. Okay. These cards like to jump around. Oh my goodness. Obviously, they got lots of messages for us. Okay. All right. Set these aside. Okay, this one's for Angela, Juliana, Claudia, Julie, Connie, Lori, and Kimberly. Okay. I do like these shaman oracle cards. I think they're very knowledgeable. They tell you a lot in a short amount of time. Okay, so for Angela, so in shamanism, they believe in 3 worlds. You have the upper world, which is the spirit world, the middle world, which is like here in the 3D world, and then the lower world, which is not really hell, but like it's considered the shadow place, the place of the shadows. And you have drawn the lower world. This doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing, okay? Nothing in spirit is bad. It just is. Okay. I find that things in the lower world tell me what I really absolutely need to know. So, the lower world holds the hidden treasures of humanity. It is a place of rich and fruitful darkness where we can find the disowned parts of ourselves and the abandoned aspects of our psyche. The lower world is the place of our ancestors where we discover the gifts and lessons from the past. It is the realm of the collective unconscious. Here we can meet our demons and transform them into pure energy. Our source of personal power. I think when you master the shadow, the lower world, you really you alchemize yourself into who you really are, okay? It is time to unearth your hidden treasures. Do not make yourself small in order for others to like or accept you. This also has to do with relationships. If you have the abandonment wound, we make ourselves small all the time to maintain an attachment instead of following our heart and our spirit, okay? Don't do that. Follow your heart and your spirit, and the right person will stay there and maintain that attachment. That's the only attachment you want. The person who wants to be there with you. Not because you did something, twisted yourself up in a pretzel to be with them. Bring out the gems and precious stones that you have kept inside your heart, hidden even from yourself. I had to really do this. I had to really you know what? I'm going to bring out all my spiritual gifts. Get yourself to a place where you're all in your total glory. Let yourself shine bright, okay? Because when you make yourself small and you're not shining bright, you're not letting the right people appreciate you. Because if you're shining bright and the person you're with isn't appreciating you, they're not the right person, and you don't have to stay small to stay with them, okay? It's giving you maybe a difficult lesson about knowing who you really are. And it also gives the other person an opportunity, or other people, could be extended family, could be whoever, the world at large, the opportunity to grow and to learn to love you and connect with you in a different way, okay? In a way that's probably more meaningful for them too, okay? It's time to honor your past and recast your life as a heroic quest. Oh, guest, hello. But that's a Freudian slip, I think. Recast your life as a heroic quest. As you journey into the lower world, you will be offered all the gifts of your ancestors. I find ancestral work paramount to helping me understand who am I. If you haven't looked into your ancestry, if you haven't looked into your family's generational trauma stories, this may give you some profound insight into where you're at right now, okay? Their struggles, the way they hurt, the way they lived, and the way they died will become blessings. Okay. My scarcity came from literally the potato famine in Ireland, and they traveled to New Brunswick, Canada, which is a very austere, rustic place, and the least populated place of Canada. And then they trickled down into northern Maine, and that's my father's father, and no wonder, no wonder they had the problems that they had. This is helping you look into your ancestry, look into where you come from. Past all the trauma, you have well ancestors who are there for you to call upon to help you return to your wise roots. Okay. So that's it for you. That's for Angela. Now, Juliana, let's see what we got for you. Pachamama, Mother Earth, the living mother. I love Pachamama. Yeah, she surrounds me. She surrounds all of us, actually. So the essence of Pachamama, which is actually a Peruvian Quechua word for Mother Earth. Pachamama represents the unconditional love that the earth has for all her children, including the stones, the plants, the animals, and humans. I'm getting this feeling you need to reconnect to Mother Earth daily, like in easy ways, like go outside. If you're not spending enough time outside, go outside, sit down, put off your phone, listen to the birds chirping, smell the air, look at nature. Okay. Just recognize you're part of nature. Okay. Mother Earth, Pachamama is the goddess of earth, also known as Gaia, who pervades all creation in our planet. Okay. Thanks to Pachamama, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. Start paying attention to the moon cycles. Start paying attention to life cycles. Are you holding on to some things that you know you're done with? Are you moving into spaces that your spirit's calling you to? Get into the cycle of recognizing spirit and like where you're being called to go. Okay. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth are invitations to discover the boundless love of Pachamama. Okay. So I have a silly story to tell you, and I don't know why this is relevant, but for some reason I need to tell you. Okay. I work as a deputy sheriff during the day, and on Friday nights I work a part-time at Skateland, which is a little skating rink for adolescents. They're usually about 14 to 10-year-olds to 18. So elementary up into high school. And it's really been like last night I worked an extra shift there because my partner, he has military and military drill, and he couldn't work it this weekend. So I happened to work it last night, and a lot of the young men and women who are regulars there or work there were there not working but partying, like out skating and playing. And it was just such a nice night for me to be there with these kids who were just enjoying life. And so this aspect to just feel the joy of life. I'm feeling verklempt thinking about it. But that's like, why are we doing the things we're doing? To just enjoy life, right? Thank you for letting me have a moment. Anyway, obviously that's very meaningful for somebody, okay? That's what this is all about. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so verklempt. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. It's okay to have like real feelings, people. But anyway, what I was saying, those are the meaningful parts of life that we like let surpass us if you're not connected regularly. So the joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth, like we don't know that we're going to be here tomorrow. Don't wait for when the kids graduate. Don't wait for when I lose weight. Enjoy it right now. Okay? even the pain, even the joy, just the experience of being here, say it's good to be alive, okay? And I've had bouts of depression in the past, and you're like, yeah, right, this feels like shit. But at the same time, get to this space where you're feeling the nectar of life, the hummingbird energy. And Pachamama wants you to know that that's available to you, okay? And what it took me so long to be open to receive that, to build the energetic container to receive the nectar of life, okay? So, all right, so the invitation. Why am I so verklempt right now? Thank you, Spirit. I did not need this right now, but obviously somebody did. Okay, you are a child of the earth. Now is the time to eat right, love right, and be joyous, regardless of the circumstances you may find yourself in. What did I just say? Okay, be grateful for your life, your body, and all that nourishes you. I've been like really hard on myself lately because my body is not the way I want it to be. And I literally had to be like, thank you for giving me a body that I'm alive in. Okay? Like at that very basic level. Feel the joy of existence. Pachamama invites you to relish each breath, embrace your joy and your pain equally, and discover love through both. Let Pachamama know how much you appreciate all her blessings with an act of service, such as planting a tree, helping save an endangered species, or protecting the ocean. Yeah, planting a tree, that's a good idea. If you're not, okay, I'm feeling really called to do some gardening this year. I have not gardened since, like, God, I worked on a produce farm when I was 11 and 12 and 13 growing up. But I haven't planted my own stuff in years. And these are ways to get connected to Pachamama, to like just understand the cycle of life and the beauty of like, wow, like this is life force, like the thing that grows my fingernails, that grows my hair, that the earth spins, whether I'm doing something or not. The seeds come up. Appreciate that. She says, that resonates so much. It came time to live with the cycles of nature. The moon cycles are connecting. I love the story. Thank you. Good. I'm glad. All right. Maybe that was a card for me too. Thank you. Okay. Next one is for Claudia. The arrow. Ooh. Number 3. Beautiful. Let me see what we got here. All right. Receiving this symbol reminds you that when you're in alignment with your heart and soul, you're on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Okay, so something's coming to mind. Like you've been all over the place. You don't really know which direction to go, and you've been spinning your wheels or wasting your time and energy. Okay, take time, like we talked about in the group reading, to figure out what you really want to do. Are you in a job you hate and it's not going to take you where you want to go? It's time. Quit. Find something else to do. It's never going to be a good time to do the thing you really want to do if you found yourself stuck somewhere you don't want to be. Okay. Be true to your calling, release attachments, and free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. Unbridled ambition means like, I just got to make it. I don't care how. Now is revealed to be a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world, literally where the rubber hits the road. Show me the money. The arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. My creative blocks were like passing a kidney stone, okay? It took me really having to get in touch and revamp my entire lifestyle to make space for a more feminine creative aspect in my life. I had to have the space to sit back and draw, to sew, to create meditations. I wasn't going to be able to do that if I was always in doing mode. I have, like, for example, I have a meditation I'm supposed to be creating for an embodied Shakti class coming up, or summit with Sama Morningstar. And it hasn't been the right time because I've been too busy. And I know I need to slow down and get into the creative mode, get into womb space to get to that place. So the arrow is telling you it may be cumbersome for you to create the thing that you want because you've got a lot of distraction you got to get out of the way. So when the arrow zings through the air, it is inviting you to pay attention and signifying that you are about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. It eliminates the moment of contact when you know that your desires and intentions have traveled on the wind and landed in the perfect place for your highest good. Okay, you can ask, Spirit, for clarity, for, where do I want to shoot this arrow out? Trust that your job is to be relaxed yet focused, keeping your eye on the prize and releasing your intention with full expectation that it will land as it is supposed to. All right. I always use this analogy and I love it. If you shoot a rocket to the moon and you're calculating off by an inch, you'll miss the moon by a mile, right? Get clear. Trust that down here on Earth, your calculations are going to be right. Okay? Trust that clarity's coming, and relax and open up and get into allowing mode to receive that clarity, and then you'll get it, okay? This is not a time to interfere with the manner in which the arrow flies, okay? So, you may find that in order to find your dream job, you had to lose your house and have to move home with your mom, and now the dream job appeared where your mom lives, which is 4 states away. This is what I'm talking about. Then you'll find yourself in a space you had no earthly idea that it would ever be possible, okay? It will make its mark, and you will have cause to celebrate, okay? Let the universe work in mysterious ways. All right. Okay. All right, Kimberly. All right. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm happy you were here. Okay, so that's for Claudia, the arrow. Wish you could have stayed, Kimberly. I would have done your reading, but okay. This is for Julie, the owl. Okay. The owl is the master of the night. She can see situations with perfect clarity, more so when it is dark, and is able to discern truth when others are sightless. She helps you find your light and your lightness in the darkest moments of your life, and to embrace the night as your ally. Okay. If you're going through a particularly soul pruning moment, this is where you get a lot of the clarity that I was talking about. You may ask for the clarity and it's not coming to you through like a nice, easy, comfortable way. You may be kind of like me where you're hard-headed and you get the clarity through, unfortunately, pain. But joy and pain are part of what do you call it? Well, hold on, Kimberly. I'll do your card next before you pop off. Then, okay? I'll try to accommodate you. Just because it may feel difficult or uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's not part of uncovering your greatest asset or gift. Okay. For me, dealing with the early childhood trauma, the abandonment wound, helped me learn how to share this connection to spirit, to share the ability to honor yourself, to learn to love yourself and attract the right people into your life. And when you attract the right people into your life, that's the foundation for you to then move forward with whatever divine mission you have, right? Okay, so owl is basically saying it's an ally for you during these dark times to really discern the true lesson and blessing for you. Okay, so owl can bring you messages from the invisible world. She opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of the ancestors and you may acquire their wisdom and make it your own. Definitely call on ancestral wisdom. And I encourage you as well to look into your ancestry, look at the generational trauma, look at the patterns or the strengths of your ancestors. Think about it. If you immigrated here from Europe, if your relatives did, that was a huge undertaking. Like they left everything they knew to come here. And maybe we're now just getting settled in, 7, 8 generations later. Or maybe in the case of like my grandfather, he's first generation. His parents came here in 1907. So, it's not that far off. look around you, notice every detail, and find the hidden messages brought to you by Owl. Do not shoot the messenger, okay? Don't be angry that, oh crap, this thing came along. Be grateful to the friend who shows you what you have not wanted to see until now, okay? Observe all the facets of the diamond without judgment. Remember that the facets you dislike are often mirrors of the parts of you that you do not want to recognize. So being humble, humility. Do not be afraid of the truth, as it will become your compass, okay? That's definitely one thing I think is my strength, is recognizing uncomfortable truths. I'm being irrational right now. I probably need to, stop being this way, or, and then that gives me room for soul growth. Okay. Letting go of the ego, those sort of things. So Owl is a very good ally to help you recognize uncomfortable truths. That was for Julie. All right, Kimberly, if you're still here, let me know if you're still here. I'll do your card right now. All right. It's for Kimberly, the blade. The blade represents sharpness of the mind, body, and spirit. Pointing upward, it summons the power of heaven. We aim down to the ground, it anchors the power of the heavens on earth. The blade can be a healing tool or a weapon. Wield it wisely and it will transmit power, bestow initiation, cut energetic cords from the past, or sever toxic relationships. Use it with anger and it will slash, stab, and kill you. Okay, what I take this to be, this is about self-mastery. The blade is all about, like, you have an energy, the power, it's all how you apply it. And it's telling you to pay attention to your self-mastery. How are you using the energy and the knowledge that's brought to you? So, the invitation. You're invited to draw your blade and use it. It is not auspicious to hesitate, to waste time in idle talk, or to hide from the inevitable. Heaven and earth are aligned to support you in claiming your power. So take decisive action. Overcome your fear of hurting others, unsheath the blade, and use it wisely. Sometimes you got to cut people off. And sometimes you're using the blade to cut the meat that you killed, but it's to nourish you. Do you get the meaning around that? It's all how you intend and use it. Julie says, we emigrated the Caucasus region, came Europe into Canada, and then working in the Mucklands in New York. Yeah, I think a lot of us either came over. It's probably easier to emigrate through Canada and down. A lot of my relatives came through upstate New York or Ellis Island. Yay! Like you said earlier, it's time to put the knowledge to work. Absolutely. You got some knowledge to apply that I think other people need. People need your medicine, and don't doubt yourself. Just do it. the Nike, the irony of it is Nike, the goddess of the hunt. Just do it. All right. That's for Kimberly. All right. Now this one's for Connie. The moon. Perfect. All right. All right. Well, good. Every 28 days, the moon manifests a steady progression from darkness to light. Okay. And then back again. This phenomenon in our skies has a powerful impact on our human psyches. And, okay, think about this. The moon is very effective over the water on this earth, the tides, the pulling in, the letting out. You're 70% water. Of course, it's affecting you. It offers us, and what is water anyway? Our emotions. This is saying pay attention to your emotional state, your emotions, your feeling nature. It offers us the certainty that after periods of emptiness and darkness, there's a light waiting so we can be reborn into a new phase. I love that it also reminds us that we are cyclical, especially women. There's times to rest and there's times to put out, okay? When you get into your cycle time, honor that. Rest, down cycle. When you don't, you really feel it, Okay. And it's affected by how the rest of your month goes. The moon also has, this calls to mind a native African prayer to the moon. May our lives be renewed as yours is. Know that you get to choose how to renew your own life and paying attention to your own cycles of energy. Even doesn't necessarily have to even be your menstrual cycle, okay? The moon also has a strong influence on the ebb and flow of waters of the earth. The same power in turn affects human feelings. Did I just say that? Affects human feelings and emotions and mirrors. They're rising from or hiding back into the unconscious. So pay attention. Some of these feelings are ebbing and flowing for a reason, okay? Pay attention to them. The moon spends equal time in the dark as it does in the light of the sun, and now it comes to remind you of this balance, all right? Have you been too focused on outer achievements, productivity, or social engagements? Or have you spent too much time hidden from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face? Meditate on the significance of the moon cycle and let it gently guide you out of your bottomless depths. Head back to the world out of outer expression and connection with others. Let it help you make time for yourself, your feelings, and your essential human and spiritual needs. Beautiful. I can't add much to that. You're welcome, Kimberly. That was for Connie. I think it's really saying pay attention, nurture your feeling nature, and the ability to, it's time to reap, it's time to sow. It's just the cycles of things. This is for Lori. And the last card, because I got to pop off here very shortly. Yes. Okay. Magic. This symbol represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. Okay, the mysteries of the universe. That dark matter, the place where thoughts become things. When you co-create, it's the part you thought and the part where spirit manifests it, right? We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. I had some really weird, meaningful synchronicity or synchronized events yesterday, and I call them guideposts from the universe. Like, they don't necessarily have to make sense, but they're, for example, this is a really silly example. I'm driving along and I just got my hair done and all this stuff, my nails done in preparation for my cruise to the Bahamas. So I turn on Pandora, and a song that I really enjoyed that I'd heard at the skate rink, and I look over it, and if you are familiar with Pandora Radio, they will play like similar songs. If it creates a radio station for you based on one song, it'll do an autoplay and send out similar music. Okay, so the very next song was by a group called the Bahamas, and I was just like, thank you, Spirit. Really, really stupid, like, little nod from the universe, but it was just like, oh, well, keep going. It was basically saying, like, stay in your joy, enjoy this, like, moment, okay? So that's what magic is, like, stay in your joy. When magic appears, you're invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking on the innocence of a child who knows that all things are possible. And let it be fun. Maybe you've been trying to effort too much, and this is saying let Spirit handle the rest of it. Like, say some prayers, put it out there. Like, I have no idea how this situation can get solved, but this is my prayer that it be resolved, and let it float like a pink bubble off into the universe, and let Spirit just take it from you. Okay? And then you'll be like amazed at how stuff fixes itself. Okay, infinite potential exists in the great mind, and you are being invited to call it in and recognize the dance and synchronistic events, signs, symbols, and omens given to you through the oracle of the ordinary world. Okay, look for some of these signs. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world in a sacred partnership. Your part is to dream, to intend, and to watch for the signs that show you what next action to take. You may be getting a really like random thought, like, I haven't had an ice cream today. And you go over to the ice cream shop. And while you're there, you see somebody wearing like purple shoes that you love. And like it puts you in this state of total joy to go buy purple shoes. And then now you're feeling inclined to go out to dinner with your guy. And I mean, you see where this is going? Follow your bliss. It'll take you to a space that creates joy for you. Okay. Right now, it appears that you're on the right track to make your dreams come true. Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention. Magic gives birth to miracles. So then you stay in this high vibrating, joyous state based off of little random things that give you joy. And out of that, you may get some very clear, decisive messages about, oh, I think I want to start my own farm, or whatever will come from that. So, all right, friends. Let me see. I got 2 comments here. Love this reminder as well. Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Christina. I feel every card was for me. I'm the very most hopeful. Oh, great card to get today. Thank you. Take care. Thank you, guys. I'm like I said, I'm feeling like, I can't just say I'm not doing these for a while, but I will be kind of taking a little hiatus. So bear with me, and I may decide I can juggle it if it seems like what I'm doing can work around it. But so I really thoroughly enjoy doing these card readings and the time that I spend with you guys. So stay tuned. There's more to come. And I hope that you guys go into the spring with a renewed sense of, growth, joy, the life cycle of things. So if you want, I'm co-hosting a sacred stitching circle with Sama Morningstar. If you're a crafty kind of person, that's the time to come on there and like crochet, knit, whatever. Just be in space, create a space. I did provide a tutorial for one of my tarot card bags. You're not required to do that project, but if you want to, you can. So it's tomorrow at 2 p.m. because it's a holiday here, President's Day, and I'll be off. And then I have one day in between my cruise. I have to go to work, and then Wednesday I go to my cruise. So maybe you'll see some pictures on here of me meeting all my favorite celebrities from The Walking Dead. So thank you, guys. And I look forward to sharing all of my continued knowledge that I gain from some of my spirit work and mentoring. So much love to you guys. Bye for now.